Guys, I believe this video will not only be helpful for all the people that want to build a software as a service, but especially for the ones that have a service and want to migrate to a software as a service application to remove the ceiling that you have on your service. I would recommend you to stay until the end of this video because we are gonna tackle different type of services and how you can adapt what I'm going to explain you in this video to different businesses, different type of businesses, like marketing agencies, consulting, even development agencies. All type of agencies have different bottlenecks. Are very similar, but they are slightly. At the same time, they are slightly different. If you're watching me for the first time, my name is Justo. I'm in the process of creating 12 apps. I recently launched the fifth app. Now I'm about to launch the sixth one, and I created a process that not only lets me create applications in just a couple of weeks, but at the same time it lets me validate applications and create software as a service softwares aligned with a certain audience or a certain public. So if you already have a a service company, if you already provide a service, probably your revenue grows, the team grows, and the complexity at the same time grows faster. Okay, that's not something new to you. But at the same time, margins are capped by human hours. That's one of the most common problems when you have an agency. And every new client adds coordination. The thing is that you are still required for closing major sales, strategic approvals, and handling complex cases. This is the exact moment where a lot of people start thinking about software as a service, okay? And software as a service is leverage, yes, but poorly executed, it's an expensive distraction. And I'm telling you this even though I built software as a service applications, but my case is completely different. I don't build applications or software just for the sake of doing it. Okay, a lot of people do it, and I don't blame them, but I think it's not worth it. I think it's not worth building applications on certain cases. So the first step, okay, to migrate from service to a software as a service applications is first of all taking a deep look at the real anatomy, okay, of your service. Remove the marketing, look at the mechanical, okay, acquisition, onboarding, diagnosis, decision making, okay. On decision making is where you will find mostly the repetitive tasks, okay, execution, reporting, or renewal, okay. Look at that, okay. Now ask yourself, the uncomfortable question, where I'm structurally necessary, not where I like to be, where the outcome degrades if I'm not there. That's your real bottleneck. That's where you have potential to become, to turn that into a software as a service application. Now, there are a couple of things that you probably want to avoid if you want to turn your service into a software as a service application. First of all, don't try to automate everything, okay? Automating execution is not leverage, okay? And there is a reason why. Because execution is variable, repeated judgment is scalable, okay? So ask yourself, what decisions do I make client after client? What inputs repeat 70 or 80% of the time? Where I'm applying pattern recognition. That is the core, okay? Not your full offering, just the cognitive layer. Now, there are typical errors, okay? Or typically mistakes that you can make when you are turning your service into a software as a service application. First of all, internal tool disguised as product. You build something that only works inside your team, but that is not necessarily a software as a service application. It's internal tooling. Then, addition to complex cases, okay? Your service handles nuances. Your product can't start that way. If you design for the most complex 5%, you destroy simplicity. Initial software as a service serves the 70 or 60% of repetitive cases, not the tail end. And then a lot of people try to expand the audience too soon. Your service can serve multiple segments. Your software as a service should not, okay? So it should be narrower than your service, always. Because wide surface, it will take you to will take you to more complexity, and more complexity to more dependency. And that's the place that you want to escape from. Don't remove, your sailing, the sailing of your service, to create a higher one with the software as a service. Creating an application is worth it if you do it the correct way. If you do it just for the sake of doing it, it doesn't make sense. By the way, if you are liking this video, you would help me a lot if you subscribe to the channel and you hit the like button, because in that way we can keep growing this community, and it only takes 2 seconds. On top of that, if you want me to help you one-on-one removing this sailing from your service, you can book a call. I will leave the link on the comment section. Or if you want me to help you turn your idea into a software as a service application. Now let's take a look at strategies by business type. For example, for marketing agencies, you'll find that the typical bottlenecks are, for example, the founder validates a strategy, manual reports, interpretations of results depends on the founder. Okay, lots of monthly explanation, typically explanation to clients. Okay, and here the common mistake is building another dashboard. Okay, that's one of the most common things. What you can do here is turn that, okay, the founder validates strategies and all that stuff into a structured intake system. For example, recommendation engine, layer of automatic interpretation. These are just examples. All the business varies, but those are things that you can take into account. And you don't sell ad management, you encode strategic judgment. Then for ops and consulting, the typical bottlenecks are diagnosis depends on the founder, custom dashboards, manual system configuration, or custom operational maps. Now, the common mistake is trying to build another CRM. Okay, so what you can do is turning that into diagnostic logic. Okay, for example, if client responds X and Y, system recommends Z. Okay, here your product structures thinking. It doesn't execute for you. For recruiting, for example, shortlist depends on your judgment, informal evaluation, matching based on intuition, inconsistent interview process. Those are the typical bottlenecks. So a common mistake is trying to create another job board. The right approach could be: what mental filters do you apply? Can you turn them into a scoring system? Think about this. If 200 candidates, for example, are reduced to 15 without you intervening, I think that's something really worth it. Now, doing it the right way matters more than the effort. So, how can you do this? First of all, isolate repeated decisions. Then, sell the structured results manually, validate willingness to pay, call only the central constraint, launch to your existing distribution, and progressively reduce founder intervention. And you do this with the system that I already explained you on one of the already uploaded videos. On 3 main steps. Okay, first of all, you start using the app by yourself to solve the customer problem. Then you use the software with the customer, and finally the customer uses the app by himself. By the time that the customer uses the app by himself, you can already scale because you are not dependent on time anymore. Avoid falling into this. That is one of the most common issues, okay, when you are building an app. You start with an idea, then you code, then you add features, and then you hope it works. Try to avoid that. The reason that this process works is because when the migration is correct, revenue decouples from your schedule. Operational complexity decreases, distribution remains, and valuation changes. And I will end with this question. If you disappear for 30 days, is the system still producing results? That's one of the most important questions. Guys, I really hope this video helped you. If this helped you, you would also help me a lot if you subscribe to the channel and you hit the like button, because in that way we can keep reaching new people, and it only takes a couple of seconds. Thank you very much for supporting the content. If you want me to help you one-on-one, building your app or removing your selling from the service, you can also book a one-on-one call. It's completely free. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you on the next video.